Hello there, good sirs and madams, and I am here welcoming you back to the Ringed City. This is part 2 of the actual city streets, I suppose is what you would call it. Today we're going to be looking around the swamp, finding some cool little things in there, finding out the swamp is full of surprises, and yeah, then we're just going to be progressing on and finishing up Lapp's quest. Let's get on with that, shall we? I can safely say that this point of the DLC so far have been the hardest moment for me. The fast-moving little slaves with lightning bolts constantly being fired at you from all directions occasionally, coupled with the huge group of Haral knights in this area, it was just devastating, and in the end I had to be a hasty retreat. That didn't go too well either. Although this was complete luck. Something that I didn't talk about in the previous episode were these little curse hollow slaves. They're actually a fairly interesting addition to gameplay in my opinion. I don't particularly think they're amazingly designed, but they definitely have an interesting feature where you either have to be very aggressive or stay away from them. And you can't do both, especially once you've started attacking one, your curse meter will be very high, so you can't keep attacking them. I just find that provides an interesting little thing, as well as a moving hazard in the arenas, you'll see pretty soon actually.
But in the end, he learned his knowledge was wrong. Began without end. Does not this ring clear and true? Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast.
I tried to think of who this white preacher could be referring to when he said this line, "One met the dark with learning." I couldn't exactly think of anyone who perfectly fit that description, but the closest I could actually get was inspired by a YouTube comment I read. I can't remember which video, but it's not my original theory, but I do agree with it in some ways. It's that it's referring to Orbeck, and I only agree with this in one reason. The fact that it's associated with the dark, and Orbeck is said by Uriah to proclaimeth himself Lord of Hollows. I just thought that was interesting. The collection of this dark gem was a little bit of a realization if you look at it. All around, as I said before in the last episode, there's all these dark crystals all positioned around that all look like the dark gem, and it makes me envisage that when the white preachers are talking about the feast beginning, it makes me think of them feeding on the dark in some way. I think out of all the masks that we've had the opportunity to collect throughout the series, ranging all the way back from the Mask of the Father, all the way to like something like a Xanthus crown, I think this mask is the most strange.
And so, she lived in fear. of the dark, of the things that gnawed at her flesh. And yet, the abyss hath yet to produce any such creature. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
I think it's fairly obvious to assume that this line is referring to Irina of Karim, but I think it also matches virtually any other Firekeeper. They live in fear of the dark, and the things that gnaw at their soul. It's said to be infinite humanity, so it matches Anastasia in a way from Dark Souls 1, as she's said to fear the dark as well. This encounter with the Breachers really taught me not to underestimate them. Literally just as I'm rewatching this and re-recording all my lines for it, I just thought of a little idea. They do seem to be feasting on you in that one grab attack, don't they? So, are humans not born of the dark? Could they be trying to feast on your dark soul? I want everyone to know, at this point I was just sort of admiring how nice the land looked and thinking of all the try-jumping messages that are going to be at that cliff, looking at all the Herald Knights looking kind of demoralized. I was totally unprepared for what was coming next. Needless to say, that was pretty embarrassing. someone say Fashion Souls episode 2? This puzzle right here is something I had accidentally looked up before the DLC even launched properly. So I'll quickly show you how to do it real quick here. All you have to do, walk down to the swamp area, right down here that I'm going to show you in a second. Yeah, here. And change yourself into the humanity sprite as using a white birch branch. You'll be able to come back here, don't jump around, just get back here, and it should open the way. This is the Purging Monument. Wasn't this a thing our buddy Lapp was asking about? Maybe we should tell him the next time we meet him.
One poor girl slew her own kin, but even so was embraced, enveloped by the abyss. 'Twas a comfort that neither moon nor sunless sky afforded her before. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
This one, I don't have much of an idea what he means either. The sunless sky, and neither moon, does make me think of Ceres of the Sunless Realms, as she does also slay her own kin, but I don't recall her falling to the abyss. Gotta think more about this one.
Oh, how goes things? I can't find the Purging Monument. And I've searched high and low. What if it was never here in the first place? Oh, bloody hell. Are you certain of that? No. Sorry, I know you'd never lie to me. Thank you. Thank you kindly. I'll speed right on over. It won't be long now before I know everything. who I was, what I lived for, and what my name was. And I'll have you to thank for it all. Ah, I swear up that I am your friend. If you would do me the honor, it won't be, and I'll...
Yeah, I got rather hacked off with this guy. I rage quit. I did beat him in the end though. He gives you his great hammer that's 60 strength weapon, as in, Jesus, that's a lot. This next little bit of recording was taken just a little down the way, if you will. There's a little bit with the dragon before you get to this part, and it's kind of interesting, it's kind of intimidating, so I'll let you guys experience that for yourself. Either way, I got invaded and I decided to start recording here. Also, this is where we're going to finish up Lapp's quest, so, yeah. The Red Phantom we're fighting is also a straight match for Aegon. They call him the Moaning Knight, I believe. So, is it Aegon? I mean, Aegon's the only one with that shield, so it must be, right?
Oh, finally, you've come. Now I know exactly who I was. And for that, I've a little thanks to be giving. Go this way and peep past the broken staircase. Some awfully fine treasures just sitting there all alone. It'll change. I've much to go on. Every age, it seems, is tainted by the greed of men. Rubbish to one such as I, devoid of all worldly wants. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way we are. I'll stick you in my prayers. A fine dark soul to you.
All I'm saying is, I totally called it. Okay, time to bring this episode to a close. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. In the next episode we will be taking on Half-Light Spear of the Church, the second boss in the DLC.